Okay guys, welcome to the channel, and today we're going to be doing skin retouching, and I'm going to show you guys how to get that soft and smooth airbrush looking skin on your client, and we're going to do this within 5 minutes or less. This is just a quick shortcut that I'm going to show you guys. I do have more in-depth videos, but this one is going to be a quick route that you can take when you're editing the skin. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay, so today I'm going to be using this picture from unsplash.com. This particular image was taken by Omid Armin, so credits to you on this image. Okay, so once you have your image imported into Photoshop, the first thing you want to do is to duplicate the background. You can hit Ctrl J, or you can right click on the image and duplicate the layer. Alright, and the reason for duplicating your image, you're creating a workflow so that if you make any errors, you can always rewind and go back to your original image. Hit Control I or Command I if you're using a Mac, and that's going to invert the picture. Then you go to the blending options. We're going to select vivid light. Don't worry about the gradient, guys, it's going to get better. We've only just changed the blending option, so it will look like this. Then you go up to filter, go to other, and we're looking for our high pass filter. Okay, once you have your high pass filter selected, you're going to select 24 pixels, so just keep the values at that. Okay, so what we're aiming to do here is to get the layer nice and soft, so then we can start painting in the soft skin into her face, but we'll get to that step in a second. Okay, the next step, we're going to go into filter, we're looking for blur, and then we go into Gaussian blur. And from this point, you just want to scroll through the pixels. I usually keep the values at 3 to 4, so that way we don't lose too much detail, and we can still see the pores in the skin. We can still see the skin texture, and we're not losing too much. So we're going to keep the radius about 4. Those values can change. If you have a bigger picture, you're working with more pixels, you want to just make sure that you get the details in the picture, you're not losing too much, while the skin still remains nice and smooth and the texture still intact. Okay, we're going to hit OK. Okay guys, so now you can see that the image is nice and soft. However, the soft effect is applied all over the image, and our aim is to get it only on her face. So what we're going to do is to create a mask from this point, and you can go down here to that little camera area and hold down Alt while we create that layer, and that's going to create a negative mask. Then we select our paintbrush. Ensure that your foreground color is white and your background color is black. We're going to keep our flow at 100% just for demonstration purposes so you guys can see the effect. And I'm going to zoom in, and we're just going to start painting through the layer. And as you can see, guys, that background layer that we softened earlier is coming through that mask, and the skin is going to appear nice and soft. So we're just going to quickly paint through. Keep in mind that you need to have your brush selected. I usually use a feathered brush around the edges so that the effect is not too strong. Also, you want to make sure that you avoid structural areas like the nose, the lips, the eyes, the obvious areas that should not be soft. Try avoiding the edges, try avoiding the highlights, and just paint around the facial areas where the skin appears, the texture appears to be too strong or rough. Okay, also in hard to reach areas, you can just right click and bring down your brush size. And I'm just painting this really quick, guys, just to show you how quick you can get this done. If you make any errors, you can just hit Ctrl Z, and that's going to take you a step backward. There we go. All right, and that was quick, and that was done within 5 minutes. I'm going to show you guys the before and after. So let's zoom in so that we can see the effect. And I'm just gonna hit the eyeball here so you guys can see before and after. That's before the effect was applied, and this is after. This is before and this is after. Major improvement in the skin, guys. Also, if you overdo the skin smoothing in, you can always go into the opacity and you can bring down the effect so that you can get some of that texture back in the skin. All right, so we're going to keep it at about 80%. There we go. Keep in mind that before you use this technique, guys, you want to make sure that you remove any blemishes or spots before you start working with the skin, or else if you do the blemishes or spots before this, it's going to just look weird. So, or your flow will just not look correct. You might have a few off skin tones and some spots still remaining on your image. So make sure that you remove all blemishes and spots before you do this technique. So now that we're done with the skin smoothing in, I'm going to show you guys how to achieve this same technique within 1 minute. So we're going to practice the law of least effort, where you can get this same technique repeated if you have a number of images working with. So we're going to delete this layer here and get our original image once again. All right, so in order to achieve this, guys, we're going to be using the Actions tab. What the Action tab is going to do, it's going to record our actions while we're editing the image, and we're simply going to play back that action so that we can get from point A to point B. All right, so click Window, Actions, and I already have the Actions tab open up here. We're going to go over here and select Create New Action. Okay, I'm going to name that action Skin Smoothing and just hit record. All right, now that we're recording, the first thing we did was to duplicate our layer. Control J or Command J if you're using a Mac. All right, the next step is to invert the image. Control I or Command I if you're using a Mac. And we're going to change the blending option again to Vivid Light. Go into Filter, Other, High Pass. Keep the values at 24. And then you go into Filter again, Blur, go into Gaussian Blur, keep the value at 4. And we're going to apply a mask, but we're going to invert the mask. Hold down Alt and click the mask. So we get our original image seen through here again. And now you're going to select your brush tool, ensure that your foreground is white and your background is black. Select your brush size. And now you're ready to paint. From this point, we're going to hit stop. Once you hit stop, guys, that's going to save the action. And what you need to do from here is to just go back to where it says skin smoothing. And you just hit that little play button on your original image, and it's going to take you to the point where you just need to start painting through and get your smooth skin. What we're going to do is to just delete that layer. Okay, so we're going to hit that play button, guys, and it's going to take us through all the actions all the way up until we're ready to paint and get those skin tones showing through the mask. All right, and all you need to do is to just make sure that brush is selected and your white foreground is selected and black background is selected, and all you do is just paint through the mask. Again, just soften all the areas that needs to be softened. Keep all the areas that need to stay sharp intact. Adjust your brush sizes as you go along and just paint those skin tones coming through right there. Lovely. And guys, you can go ahead and paint this a bit faster than I'm doing right now. But this is just to demonstrate how quickly you can get softer and much better looking skin on your images. Okay, and there we have it. So again, before and after. All right, and this will help if you have multiple images. It will help you in the batch process, guys. And that's basically it, guys. That's how you can get great results by using this technique and even improvising on your time when editing your images. Hope you guys liked the video. If you did, give it a smash, give it a thumbs up, and keep creating, guys. And hope to see you guys in the next lesson.